Speaking of weekends, it was a very interesting week in football. Oh, we're last word on football, by the way.
Well, welcome to the show, guys.
Yeah.
We're winging it this time. Well, not winging it. We never freaking wing it, but we did a little.
We're running a tight ship again.
Yeah, very tight ship.
Intros. This program is sponsored by Rockstar.
Hey, please sponsor us, Rockstar. That's a sponsor I will take. I love Rockstars. I drink them every morning, at least one a day.
Rockstars, PBRs, and Coors Lights
are
our first three sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
What's your guys' names?
Ryan.
Seth. I forgot we didn't say our names this time. Everybody knows. If you've seen us
If
once,
this is your first one episode,
you're going to hate it. No, you're not going to hate it.
It's just you're
probably going to be like, why am I listening to this? These guys are terrible at doing these intros.
Well, I don't know. It's just a weird time to start watching.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe it is. But we're going to talk about playoffs this weekend, obviously, because that's all that happened in football this weekend is playoffs.
Yes.
And
it was a good weekend. It was a good weekend.
Very good weekend.
A lot of upsets. Not a good weekend if you were a fan of some teams. Saints fans.
Saints. Oh, yeah. That was tough. But the best one, I think 90% of the NFL world is happy about. Woo!
Tom Brady.
No Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
All right, we gotta not use that all the time. But we got to take a break
That's
for
the
about
only
20
one.
minutes now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the only one?
No, not the only one.
If
But at
that's
least
the only
for Tom
time we do
Brady.
it this episode, that'll be fine.
I'm good with that.
If we do it every 5 minutes, people are just going to be like, are they just fucking hyping everything up? Like,
No.
They can't keep doing this.
No, the Tom Brady is very hype. You know my hatred for Tom Brady. I hate him.
Yeah.
More than any other player.
I just think it would be so great if that man retires and the last thing he ever did in Foxborough was throw a pick six.
But you know damn well he ain't. He is not going to let himself go out like that. No, he's back for another year.
Do you think he's going to re-sign with New England?
It's a good question.
I honestly cannot see it. Like, the only thing I've ever known in my life is Tom Brady being on the Patriots. I don't see it. I don't think he's leaving.
Yeah.
But I guess
I don't
his
think
wife
so.
wants to live on the West Coast, though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
I think the only way they move on is that it would be the Patriots' choice. If they feel that they're going to be able to get their successor, he's going to return. He knows that he has the best chance of winning another Super Bowl if he stays with New England.
Yeah, probably.
But I don't know. I mean, we never know.
Let's be honest. If he didn't want to live on the West Coast and Giselle did, he could just buy a new wife.
Oh, my
If they wanted
God.
a divorce, he's got the money for it.
I mean, he'll be
It's
like,
Tom Brady.
Just give me another year or two. Yeah. I mean,
She's fine. She's not hurting. She can vacation to the West Coast anytime she wants.
Oh, yeah.
She makes more money than him.
Yeah, no doubt.
But that was a good game, dude. Derrick Henry looked really good.
Oh, Derrick Henry is a man.
He's my second running back next year in fantasy if I can get him.
He's a man. You look at the guy. I mean, he's freaking huge.
260,
Yeah.
and he runs fast.
And it's like I
And
was
he's
saying,
learning how to run over people now.
Yeah.
Or he has, you know what? He's not learning. He has learned.
Yeah, he learned. That Thursday night football game last year, because that was what it was
When he
frustrating
had the
about
4
him.
touchdowns and like
Yeah.
200 plus yards.
When I first used to watch him, I didn't get it. Like the guy, he would try to juke. He would try to, go out of bounds. He just, and then one day it's like he had an epiphany. Oh, I'm big. I could run through guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, what was this before?
He's
like,
the leading rusher this year, right? He had over 1,500 yards.
Yep, leading rusher on he had like a 70-yard run or something to get that too at the end of the season, and he missed a game. Yeah, he missed that one game with the hamstring injury, so that was pretty interesting for him. But yeah, I mean that game was all him. Do you know what Ryan Tannehill's stats were?
I didn't see what Ryan Tannehill's stats were. What did he have?
8 of 15, 72 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. 72 yards passing was all they needed to beat the Patriots because Derrick Henry.
What was Tom Brady's stat line?
Brady?
He had 200 yards passing.
Yeah. Decent. 20 of 37, 209 and 1 touchdown. Think about this. Derrick Henry had most of those yards in the whole game. Derrick Henry had 34 rushes.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of use.
Yeah. 182 yards. He also had 1 catch for 22 yards. So he basically had a third of Ryan Tannehill's passing yards, too. It was all him.
Opening drive, he had 7 rushes for 49 yards.
Yeah.
He drove down the field.
I think their winning touchdown, too. Every yard was his. They rushed it every time, and then he had that 22-yard catch.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'd be a little nervous if I was a Ravens fan.
Oh, yeah.
I got to be a little nervous.
Well, I mean, and they have the strategy to beat them, too. I mean, you don't beat the Ravens through the air.
I think New England's defense is better than Baltimore's defense.
Oh, yeah, they are.
But, I mean, the Titans got to be able to stop Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And it seems that there's only been 2 teams to do that all year. Nobody else can.
I don't know. It's going to be a good matchup.
And Cleveland
for sure.
was one of them. You could probably chalk that up as divisional game.
Yeah. Well, who was the other one? Who else beat them?
Kansas City.
Kansas City. That was their only 2 losses, right?
Kansas City and Cleveland.
Passes, too. I would think the way to beat him is through rushing with Derrick Henry. I mean, it's going to be a freaking ground and pound game.
They have to get him going early.
Oh, yeah.
Come out, run the ball, 3 downs. I don't care if you get the first down or not. Run the ball 3 times.
Run it.
And then after that, if they shut him down, hey, you got to start, hey, Ryan, we're going to need you to throw the ball a couple times.
Yeah. The Ravens defense may not be as good as the Patriots, but they're solid in their own right. And I mean,
if I was the Ravens, I would totally stack the box, be like, Tannehill, throw the ball.
Yep.
Make him throw it. Now, he has been really good at throwing it the second half of the year.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not the best strategy, but who would you rather have beat you, Derrick Henry or
Ryan Tannehill? Yeah, I'm gonna take my chances on Tannehill. You know, at least maybe you can get a pick or something. I mean, Tannehill only had to throw it 15 times because Henry was running it so well.
Yeah.
And there was a reason for that. But yeah, man, Derrick Henry though, man. Did you see that Anthony Ferkster? I think he was the leading receiver with only 23 yards and a touchdown. Just some no-name guy. That was pretty cool. Oh, and did you see that that play where what's his name? What the heck is it? Why am I blanking on the Titans head coach name? What's his name?
I want to say Sean McDermott, but he's the head coach for the Bills.
How the hell am I just blanking on this right now?
It's that younger guy.
Yeah. What the fuck is his name?
I keep wanting to say Matt LaFleur, but he's the offensive coordinator from last
Mike
year.
Mularkey.
No, that's not him. He was their last one.
Oh, wait.
He's one of their fucking former Patriots linebackers, too.
Oh, Mike Vrabel. That's who it is,
yeah. There you go. Mike Vrabel. Did you see that masterful part where he had like 3 penalties in a row just to waste more clock time?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, did he do 3 delay of games or whatever?
He had a delay a game, and then you can't have the same penalty twice. So he did a
neutral zone infraction or something like that.
Yeah, false start.
False start.
Yeah.
He did that on purpose?
Yeah, he did it on purpose just to waste more time.
I didn't know that was a... I didn't know that he did that on purpose. Had his guys do that on purpose.
Oh, yeah. It was purposeful. And then the funny thing was they got even more time wasted because the Patriots guy jumped offside, so there's a neutral zone infraction. So that was comedy. I love when you beat Belichick at his own game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he learned well.
Bill Belichick. He's the worst interviewer ever. He's the worst guy to interview.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't give
I
me
was
anything.
listening to the radio this morning, and there was a reporter that had interviewed him after the game. And she had asked him, she was like, what do you think this game means to all the fans that have been with you through thick and thin? And he was just like, they're not really worried about it. He's like, hasn't been too much thin around here the last 20 years.
Yeah, he's like, we lost a playoff game in the wild card for the first time forever. We got like 6 Super Bowls on to next season.
Yeah.
On to 2020.
Sorry if I'm sniffling a little. I'm a little sick.
Everybody's freaking sick. I don't know.
I've caught the itis.
Something in the air.
You know what I think is really funny, too? I just have to bring this up. I was saying,
Yeah.
I looked at this the other day on this fucking can.
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't the Endurance one.
Yeah. It's
Oh, it is. What the fuck is it?
Dog.
There was one that I bought the other day that said vegan on the fucking top of it across here.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
it says vegan. Swear to God.
That's interesting. Daniel's getting all excited.
It's really weird.
Yeah, I have a boner right now.
Fucking vegan energy drink.
Yeah, Daniel's vegan.
I had I'm vegetarian. I had a Beyond barbecue cheeseburger at Carl's Jr. today.
The
how's
Impossible
that?
Burger is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't
right?
tried
From
it.
Burger King?
Yeah.
Not from Burger King, at the place by my apartment, that Dell's Hideout.
Oh,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Or are you gonna try to join that suit against them because they cook the fucking burger on the same thing as the meat? So
No,
it
I'm not a
has
little
some-
bitch. I'm not gonna
has some fucking meat particles in it. That's so ridiculous.
All right, that's the last time. I thought that was funny.
Okay, all right.
I'm not a little bitch. I'm a vegetarian, but I'm not a bitch. But anyway,
People
how about the
super
next
easy.
game? Did you watch any of the Texans Bills?
No, I actually worked. I didn't watch a lot of the games this weekend. Full disclosure, I've had to work. I'll be working on the weekend, so I'm actually gonna miss most of the.
I watched
playoffs.
parts of the Texans Bills game.
I didn't see
I felt
any of
bad
that.
for
I
the
had to
Mafia.
get-
The Mafia was winning
I
by like
know.
16 points.
You know we love the Mafia, man. We love Bill's Mafia here. I was rooting for him. You know, I love Deshaun Watson. I love freaking Hopkins, but I love Bill's Mafia, man. I love that fan base. They needed that win.
You know what the best part about that game was? Booger McFarland making calls. Did you hear how stupid he was yesterday? Did you hear the one really dumbass call that he had?
To
Like,
run a
so,
draw play on
like,
third down,
yeah.
spike it.
3rd and 10. It was 3rd and 10, and Booger McFarland was right. Like, I want to make sure I say this right, otherwise I'm going to sound dumb. He said, now, if I'm Sean McDermott here on 3rd and 10, I'm going to want to run a quick draw play, run up to the line and spike the ball, stop the clock.
Yeah.
And the other announcer just like sat there, and then he was like, 3rd and 10. And then he just goes into calling the next play like, Booger, if you spike the ball on the next play, you're going to turn it over on downs. There's not 5.
That's, yeah.
How the
That's
hell
worse
did that
than-
man get a fucking job?
You know
as
what
an
I
analyst?
think at this point? You know what I think is the reason they keep him is because he's so stupid. He gets people talking. People talk about him, and they always say any press is good press, whether it's bad or good. So that's what I'm thinking is they just keep him around because he's so dumb.
God,
but they gotta get someone else.
He makes Chris Collinsworth look good.
Yeah,
Look
that's
real
what.
good.
Remember, I think I asked that question. Who'd you rather listen to? A guy banging on a trash can the entire game that's just blasting through your TV, or him and Collinsworth and Booger paired?
Dude,
I might go with the trash can.
I would listen to Chris Collinsworth if it was just if I had to pick between the two. If I had to pick them together, I'd just watch the TV on mute.
No, but say you had to.
Or put it on. I'd listen to a radio station and play the radio
Yeah.
broadcast
Oh,
with
of
the
course.
TV on mute.
No. Yeah, for sure. But
You know
no,
what?
I mean,
Well,
Collinsworth. He makes Collinsworth not that bad. Yeah, he makes.
I
him
mean,
seem
the
not that
ultimate
bad.
would be listening to Kevin Harlan on the radio. Do the radio.
Kevin Harlan.
broadcast.
I like Kevin
Harlan's
Harlan.
the best.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love Kevin Harlan on the radio.
Like a couple weeks ago, we were talking how he was announcing the Patriots Dolphins game while he was announcing the Chiefs and Chargers game, the last game of the year.
He announced both at the same time.
Well, he didn't actually announce both at the same time, but it was winding down end of the fourth quarter in both games, and he was like, and the Chiefs are going to take this game from the Chargers. And then he's like, you could tell he's like watching the other game, and he's like, and the Dolphins have just moved into New England territory. Fitzpatrick calls hike, and he actually goes through the play-by-play where Fitzpatrick throws that touchdown pass, and
nice.
they win.
Wow.
And Kurt Warner is the one who announces with him, or is
Yeah.
it Rich Gannon?
It's
I think
Kurt
it was
Warner.
no,
Kurt
it was
Warner.
Rich Gannon that game. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that game.
It was
usually it's
one of
Kurt
the-
Warner
it
who's
was
with
one of-
them, but it could be different. That
It was
game.
one of those two,
Right.
and he was just like, "Which game are you calling?" He was like, "I'm calling both of them." He's like, "I'm breaking every FCC rule in the book."
I love that guy. He was just freaking. You know,
He's from
born
Wisconsin.
for freaking radio. Oh,
Shout
really?
out to the Dub.
Oh wow, that's cool.
I'm wearing a Minnesota shirt. My sister went to the University of Minnesota, and she bought this for me.
Oh, okay. That's
I actually hate the fucking Golden Gophers, but this is a comfortable sweatshirt. It's
cool.
very
It looks
nice.
pretty comfortable.
Yeah, it looks very comfortable.
I'm gonna grab it right here for you. Oh yeah, that's very comfortable.
It's a nice like polyester blend.
Yeah, nice. So, Josh Allen, at first he was doing it all in that game. First drive, he ran for a good run. He made a few good passes. Then he caught a touchdown. You see that? I didn't see it. But did you see it?
I saw the highlights.
Yeah, I saw the highlights as well.
Everybody's running that fucking trick play where they get the whole line moving that way with the running back behind them, and they dump the quarterback out into the flat and hope nobody covers them.
Yeah, I think this is the last year you're going to see that. They're going to spend the offseason eliminating that play. That's going to be it.
If one person stays home on that side of the field, that play is shot. Like
Exactly.
the only reason you do that play is because you're banking on the cornerback following the pursuit across the field like that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, fuck, Detroit ran it against Green Bay week 17, and they did it successfully. There was nobody over there.
Yeah.
They are going to get rid of that play.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, it's still going to, there's some people are still going to try it.
Oh, yeah. Next year. But it's like the read option. You're going to have to do it like even less than ever. Like sometimes
once.
the read option still works. Remember that year where like every other fucking play was a read option? And I was
No.
like, yeah, that's not going to last. It was I think it was RG3's rookie year. They
Back
had
in,
him and like Cam
2010
Newton.
or something like that.
Yeah. They had the read option like every other freaking play. And I loved it in Madden because that's when we also had a Terrell Pryor. So I used to freaking run that play in Madden and just sometimes annihilate people. The only downside was Terrell Pryor fumbled like it being touched.
That man got stabbed about a month ago.
Yeah, he did.
It's crazy.
Poor dude. I don't know the circumstances though, if it was his fault or not. So I don't want to, maybe.
Yeah, let's just
Yeah.
not talk about Terrell Pryor getting stabbed.
Yeah. How about remember last week I questioned on if John Brown was a true number one receiver?
No.
His stat line in the
Did you?
playoffs was 4 catches for 50 yards on 8 targets. I think they need a real number one.
I mean,
Cool. You're like, whatever, man. Yeah.
he plays for the Bills, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't have even told you who he played for. Like, that's their number one wide receiver?
Yeah,
Is
he's
he
their
really?
number one. Yeah. I mean, you can't really consider Cole Beasley their number one. He's probably second in yards. Yeah, like I said, I mean, he had 1,100 yards on the season, but
You know who'd be a good pickup for them?
Huh.
Along with Green Bay? A.J. Green. Who's going to get A.J. Green this year? Cincinnati's not re-signing him. Why would you want to play in Cincinnati? You're going to play with Joe Burrow as your quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I won't be surprised if he resigns, but I don't know who's going to sign the guy. I still don't think Green Bay's going to sign him as much as you want him to.
I don't think they are either. It's just not something that they would ever do.
Yeah.
They don't go out and make big splash free agent signings.
Yeah, it's just tough because I don't know what the guy's worth with his injuries. He hasn't been healthy in like a season and a half. So I don't know.
I think if he wanted to bet on himself, do what some baseball players do. Take a 1-year contract that's like $18 million and just see how you do.
That's what he's going to have to do. Yeah.
Yeah, if he wants like a 4-year deal.
Yep.
I don't think anybody's going to give him a 5-year deal for like $100 million. No way.
No, he's already like 30, 31 years old.
Is he?
Yeah, he's already up there in age.
Can you check how old he is?
He's been around a while. I mean, but he was really freaking good for a while. You know, I mean, and
Remember when
he's
he
healthy,
had that fucking somersault touchdown?
Oh, yeah.
That thing was sexy.
Yeah, I've always liked the guy. I like his style, you know? He's got style.
And he's fast.
Yeah.
Real
fast. And he's big. He'd get up, but we'll see what happens.
AJ Green is 31 years old.
Yeah, see, 31.
He's going to have to take a 1-year deal.
He's going to have to get a 1-year deal.
He's going to get a 1-year deal or he's going to get a 3-year deal for like $36 million.
Yeah,
Adriel
with like
Jeremiah.
Adriel Jeremiah.
Adriel
Jeremiah. Wow. Oh, I found out something. Oh, I should have
Isn't that
freaking
weird?
wrote that down.
I totally didn't know that was his name.
Yeah.
Like Dak Prescott. Do you know what Dak Prescott's real name is?
Yeah, that's who I just found out.
I think it's like Rain Dakota.
Yeah, it's Rain Dakota. I thought it was just Dakota. I mean, and that's already kind of funny, but Rain Dakota Prescott.
Is it like hyphenated?
No.
Is it like RAINE or just RAIN?
RAYNE.
Oh, RAYNE.
Yeah, RAYNE.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go by Dak.
Yeah, go by Dak. Yeah, that's not.
I mean, I would make a joke about that, but I feel like it'd be low hanging fruit, and he's probably heard every fucking joke in the book his entire life from people making fun of him. So we'll just move on from that.
I mean, Dak's kind of a cool name on its own.
Yeah,
he's one of the few
it's way
guys
cooler than Rain.
Oh yeah, he's one of the few guys you can call by his first name too.
Rainn Wilson's pretty cool. I liked him on The Office as Dwight Schrute. Okay. But he spells it RAINN.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's
RAINN.
a different way of spelling it. So I guess Rain could be a cool name.
Yeah,
it's
it
unique.
Could. Yeah, it's pretty unique, and there's all these ways to spell it. Some people do it rain like REIGN. You know, like you're
like
raining
rain of
over,
fire.
Yeah, like you're raining over motherfuckers.
Yeah,
that's cool.
All these fucking white women out here trying to be like, I'm gonna name my kid something cool, but I'm gonna spell it really fucking dumb.
That's the thing, man. Just freaking
like Kaylee, KAYLEIGH.
Oh,
Shut
yeah.
up.
Can you just stop?
Yeah.
One of the things I love about my name, and I think you'll probably as well, is it's 4 letters, man. Quick. Ryan. RYA, and spell that shit quick.
Seth. SETH.
Yeah.
Danny. DANNY.
You know when you're in elementary school and you got to freaking fill in little bubbles for your name? I'd always be like the first one done. You got all these people like freaking with long names and shit. Just taking forever.
Hey, your last name's pretty cool too. Hawk.
Yeah, Hawks. S actually at the end. Yeah, but
Hawks.
still Hawks.
I always call you Hawk because I have you saved in my phone as Hawk.
Oh, okay. Most people do. You kind of gravitate towards just being Hawk, especially considering there's a famous skater named Tony Hawk. I wish I had $1 for every.
Pretty sure he lives in Encinitas.
He does, yeah.
Or Carlsbad, somewhere. He lives somewhere
Carlsbad, I believe. Yeah,
it's Carlsbad.
I love how he'll post on Twitter of all the times people like ask him if he's Tony Hawk and like his interactions.
Like he'll be at the airport and they'll see his name and be like, Tony Hawk, like the skater. And they'll be like, yeah. And they'll be like, I wonder what he's doing. He's like, probably this.
Yeah.
Nobody recognizes him ever. Everybody knows his name, but nobody knows what he looks like.
Because he's like, they probably picture him still when he was like freaking hella young. That dude was famous when I was in elementary school, man. He's older now. Yeah.
I remember playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater on PlayStation 1.
Oh, yeah.
Ripping it up in the streets of San Francisco.
Those are good times.
Through that little warehouse.
Oh, yeah.
Great soundtrack. We're getting a little sidetracked.
Yeah. Back to it. How about, one cool thing was, kind of just an aside in this was, Taiwan Jones for the Texans had like a 34 reception to basically seal the game. Former Raider. That's all I had to say about that.
Nice.
But he was cool. Yeah, it was nice to see him make a little appearance.
What did you think about the Saints Vikings game? Did you watch that one at all?
No, that's the other one I didn't see a snap of.
I listened to the whole thing.
Yeah, both the morning games. I was at work. How'd that one go for you?
I was really hoping that Minnesota was going to get throttled.
Yeah.
I thought that the Saints were going to win by double digits, and they did not look like they should have won that game from the beginning.
Really?
They did not look very good. I don't know how many catches Michael Thomas had. I know it wasn't a lot. It was not 10.
No, he had 8, I believe. I have it right here. No, what the hell?
I thought that they had a really good chance at winning because Minnesota, Thielen fumbled the ball like 2 minutes into the game, and then the Saints recovered it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the guy stepped out of bounds like back further at like the 40-yard line, but he made it all the way down to like the 5 before they reviewed the play, and they're like, "Oh, you stepped out of bounds like 40 yards ago, dude."
Ouch. Yeah.
But yeah, they kicked the field goal. That the Saints their Minnesota's defense played really good.
Right. Yeah.
Every time they needed to stop them, they stopped them.
Yeah.
I actually think that Minnesota has a decent chance to go into Santa Clara and beat the 49ers.
Oh, yeah.
I would be nervous if I was the 49ers. I don't know if they're going to lose, but I think it's going to be closer than people
It's going to be
think.
close. I mean, the Vikings were just kind of quietly a really good team this year, and they've been pretty good for a while. You know, Zimmer's a pretty good coach. They got a good defense. A lot of people talk about their offense, you know, with good and bad between Cousins and
I tell you what, I'm pretty nervous to play the Seahawks this week.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's going to be a good game, too.
Saving grace is that it's in Green Bay.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm hearing that it could be tundra conditions up in there, too.
The colder, the better.
Oh, no doubt for the Packers. The colder, the better. I mean, the Seahawks are up from
God,
it rains a lot there.
And I
but it ain't
want the
cold like
Vikings
that.
to win so bad, so they have to go to Green Bay. Because I would rather have them go to Green Bay and play them a third time than go to San Francisco.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you guys need the home game. Keep that. Despite the Vikings, well, now they play in a dome, right? In their new stadium?
Yeah. They don't
so
really
they're not
play in
as
cold
used to the
conditions.
cold anymore.
And I mean, they're going to go to San Francisco. It's not going to be cold there.
No. Yeah,
I mean, it might
not.
be like in the 50s, but
That's not, yeah.
it's not going to be snowy.
No.
And they just
nothing.
got done playing in a dome down in New Orleans.
Yeah. How about the Kirk Cousins defenders just creeping up from underground? Yeah, he can win big games. Nobody ever said
know
that he
what,
can't
though?
win big games. We said he can't win primetime games.
You know what? Let me ask you a question. Who would you rather have as your quarterback? Kirk Cousins or Carson Wentz?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Did you know that? First of all, before you answer that, did you know that Carson Wentz he's been to 6 playoff games, and he's played 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He's played less than 1 minute per game on average.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I guess
I think Carson Wentz is the biggest fraud. I think he's a bigger fraud than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I mean, he's not in it.
Kirk Cousins might not win, but at least the guy plays.
He's healthy. I mean, and health is your biggest factor. And it really does suck for Wentz because this time wasn't necessarily his fault. Concussion's a concussion. But still,
it looked
just
pretty
adds
bad
up.
when Clowney headbutted him in the back of the
Yeah.
head. I mean, he didn't really headbutt him. I don't think he tried to hurt him. But
No.
he
Initially, I was wondering if it could be his back because he looked like he landed hard on his back. And then they show the replay. I'm like, oh, he got his head really bad, too. But even still, I mean, despite this game, I mean, he hasn't looked that great this year. You know, to me, kind of the same thing that happened to Derek Carr happened
I was surprised
to
at how close that game was for how banged up they were especially now in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it to Doug Peterson for even keeping them in that game to have it close like that with freaking Josh McCown.
I didn't think Josh McCown was going to be able to put up 21 points. I thought 21 points after Carson Wentz got hurt was how many points they were going to need to score at least.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way they're going to get 21 points against this defense.
Yeah.
I mean, even despite them not being like the Legion of Boom anymore, they still got KJ Wright, they still got Bobby Wagner, they got Jadeveon Clowney. Mm-hmm. Their defense is not bad. It's not what it was.
Yeah, it's nowhere near that, but I mean, it's a solid defense, especially against a banged up team like that. So I'll give Doug Peterson a ton of credit, but they really need to think about what they're going to do about Wentz because they just gave that guy a contract, a huge contract.
Do you think they made a mistake keeping him instead of Nick Foles?
At the same time, Foles isn't the guy either. I mean, look at the guy. He got benched over there in Jacksonville, too, for the rookie Minshew.
Is he just the best backup ever?
I think
and
he
that's
is.
what he is. He's just a backup.
I think
he can't
he's
be a
good,
starting quarterback.
Yeah, he's a good short-term quarterback. Look at he had that one really good season. Then he came in and he wasn't.
Well, he didn't
good.
even play that whole season. I know what season you're talking about.
Yeah.
They got bounced by the Saints a couple years ago, back in like 2015.
Yeah, he had the good.
But he
like,
had
half a season.
he had like 35 touchdowns and like only 6 interceptions or something
Yeah.
like that when he came in.
Yeah, I mean, a fifth of them. I mean, he threw those 7 in that first game against the Raiders, and we were terrible. I remember that.
You want to know what's funny? I want to double back to Kirk Cousins really quick. The other day when they were playing the Saints, they had brought a stat up on the screen, and it blew my mind. I feel like we've bagged on Kirk Cousins a handful of times.
Right.
The guy this year threw 28 touchdown passes, or 26 or 28. I can't remember. He threw 6 interceptions.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston threw more interceptions than he threw touchdowns. And we bag on Kirk Cousins for being bad. And he threw a fifth of the picks that Jameis Winston did.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, to me, Kirk Cousins is a stats guy. I mean, you look at his stats, and his stats look really good. but when he doesn't always pass the eye test, and that's what it is. Even now, even when you look at his morning games, he has a really good win percentage, but for some reason, once he gets to those primetime games, he can't do it. And actually, I heard this on the radio too, was that they were talking about he's a really, like many sports guys, and him especially is a creature of habit. He has a pregame habit that he goes through every morning. So perhaps when that ritual or whatever he does gets interrupted, he's just not the same.
Oh, and he does it later in the day, you're saying?
When he has to play later, because both times that he's been on the East Coast, so half of his games, at least half, are always 10 a.m. So he does really good in those.
Well, they play Central Time. That's the Central Time zone.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, not East Coast.
Oh yeah.
So
Central.
they would start at. They start at 10. They start at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. our time.
If it's noon in Central Time, because all the games start at. That's all based off the Eastern Time zone,
right?
Which is
But he's used to performing at the 10 a.m. games for us, where we're.
I also have to go back. There was a couple episodes ago where I was saying that Jameis Winston's final pick was not a pick six; it was just an interception. It was definitely a pick six.
I told you.
That is redacted.
Yes, redacted. Yeah, I mean that it's something about. I mean, he's a solid quarterback, and maybe they gave him what he needs because they've got a good run game. They've got a good defense, so he doesn't have to put the game in his hands. But if you got to put the game in the guy's hands, he's not. I still don't trust him. Yeah, he had this cool overtime drive, but that's one time out of how many that he's won a game when he's had to, and that was questionable. I mean, there's controversy about that.
Is that when he was like, "You like that"?
Yeah.
Was that it? That was the same night.
Yeah, I mean, more often than not, he's still crumbled when the ball's in his hands at the end of the game. So I'm not going to discount him for one game, and let's see him try to play a primetime game in the playoffs and see how he does. I want to see that. What time is his game next week? Do we know what time that Vikings?
Hold on, I just had it up on the NFL app. I was looking at it earlier today. Oh, you got it, Daniel?
Yep. It is at 1:35 p.m.
On Saturday or Sunday?
The 11th, which is
That's
Saturday.
Do you know if that's Eastern or 1:35? That's definitely a later game. Yeah.
No, it's Pacific time.
Yeah, because they're playing the 49ers.
Yeah. They're going to play Saturday. Green Bay's going to play Sunday. Who else is playing Sunday? Is it the Chiefs or the Ravens on Sunday?
Texans against the Chiefs
on Sunday. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
I think the Texans are sneaky good. I could see Texans rolling into Arrowhead and winning. I think it'd be difficult,
especially because that offense can go. I mean, the Chiefs apparently their defense got a lot better as the season went on. But I mean, the Texans are going to be able to put up points, and their weakness is their O-line. The Texans is so as long as they can keep Watson on his feet, then they got a good chance to win that game. And I hope so. I hate the Chiefs. Second most hated team in the league.
Oh, that's because you're in your division. I actually wouldn't mind seeing them go to the Super Bowl in the AFC. I want them and the Ravens to play in the AFC Championship game.
As far as divisional rivals, I don't hate the Chargers. I hate their fans. I don't hate the Broncos, but I just hate the Chiefs. I don't know why. I've always hated them. I just don't like them. I don't like the team.
You hate them because of the years they had Tony Gonzalez and they were really good.
Yeah, they did used to
Priest Holmes,
just kill us.
Dante Hall.
But at the same time, the Chargers used to annihilate us with LT, and I freaking love LaDainian Tomlinson. I love the guy. You got to respect him. But you really got to think about this. Now this is 3 heartbreaks in the playoffs for the Saints. I mean, did they miss their window this year? Breeze is old.
41.
When is Sean Payton?
They missed their window. They missed their true window last year.
I think last year was the best team. Yeah,
they were complaining about. I get it. That was pass interference last year against the Rams, but they had a shot to win it in overtime. They did
exactly. You gotta, you can blame a call.
Don't give Jared Goff the ball. Go down and score a touchdown because they had the ball first in overtime.
Yeah, I don't get it. Why? You got to kind of not let games get down to that point. If you have a blown call to lose you the game, you had no business winning in the first place. That's the way I see it. You're going to leave it down to one play. I mean, I get it. It sucks, but that's the way it is.
How are you going to go into a playoff game at home in front of your home crowd?
Except for the tuck rule.
Throwing it way back.
Yeah,
still bitter?
Always. I'm always
still bitter. What was that, 2001? 2000? That was a long time ago.
Yep. It's probably because it was my first playoff game. It was
19 years ago.
Watching. It's my first playoff game I remember watching.
2 decades ago.
Almost.
Get over it, okay?
I'll get over it if Brady comes back next year, and then the Raiders make the playoffs, and we strip sack him to finish the game. I will be over it. So I want him to come back for one more year. Anyway, What do you think? I mean, I almost was starting to wonder yesterday before the news broke of McCarthy if maybe Sean Payton might be interested in Dallas. You know, I mean, maybe he just wants to jump ship.
Sean Payton wouldn't go to Dallas. He's not a yes man. McCarthy is.
Yeah.
Pillsbury fucking Doughboy. is the head coach. You had the Clapper, now you got the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah.
And he spends the night at Jerry Jones' house.
Yeah.
Probably rubbing whipped cream all over his nipples and
Oh.
singing Kumbaya to each other.
Oh, man. We might as well jump into that now.
Oh, yeah, we're already into it, man.
Yeah. He's finally gone.
God, I have so many
They
opinions
hired
on
a
Mike
new coach.
McCarthy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that I have you right here as a Packers fan. How long? He was your guys' coach for a really long time.
Like 10 years or something
Yeah.
like that.
10 years. I know I was in high school when Brett Favre still
I
played
think he
with
was
you
a
guys.
fraud. I think he was good for. We had like a 2-year run, and one of the
Yeah.
years, I think the first year he was good was when we won the Super Bowl back in 2010.
Yeah. My issue with him was that he had a really good offense back then, but he never seemed to really adapt.
Did you know that he has one of the best winning percentages of all time as a head coach?
Really?
Yeah, it's like 680 or something like that, 6'8".
Right.
Maybe like it's 6 something. But this is the argument I would make to people that are like, "Oh, he's a good coach." That motherfucker had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers as his quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I almost think it's kind of embarrassing that you only went to one Super Bowl
Yeah.
that time.
It really is. I mean, to have one Super Bowl,
And I
only
mean,
with
they went to
those
the
two
NFC
quarterbacks?
Championship. They went to the NFC Championship game against the Seahawks, lost.
Yeah.
Went to the NFC Championship game against the Falcons, got destroyed that year that they lost.
I remember that.
They were up 28-3 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They were down 35-0 that game.
Yeah.
I think at halftime it was embarrassing.
It is. I mean, you have to wonder.
That year that they went against the Seahawks, though, so I can't blame it all on him. Ted Thompson
Oh,
really
yeah.
didn't do anything.
That
When
one
your
was a
team
tough
is
one.
good and you know they're going to be good and you lose out in the NFC Championship game, he's not the type of guy, or he wasn't the type of guy to trade away draft picks. He loved his draft picks, draft and develop, draft
Right.
and develop. Dude, when you know your team is good, you got to be like – I love how aggressive the Rams have been the last couple
Right.
years. Now, they have no first-round draft picks for the
Yeah.
next couple years, but they knew their team was good, and they fucking went for it.
Yeah, they went for that in the window.
Ted Thompson didn't trade away any draft picks, try to pick anybody up at the trade deadline, anything like that,
Yeah.
to try to bolster the roster.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy that, I mean, you could
Ted
argue.
Thompson was holding Green Bay back just as much as Mike McCarthy was with his boring-ass vanilla play calling.
Yeah. You could
And
argue
I think the proof is in the pudding now that you got Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, I mean, their record improved drastically.
How many times in NFL history has a team gotten a brand new head coach and gone 13-3 the year after?
Not often. Usually it's their second year when they kind of break out. You know, like Doug Peterson, he had a decent first year, really broke out his second. First year, it's. I mean, maybe you had Gruden with Tampa Bay, but I think they were a pretty good team the year before too, even with Dungy. I can't think of any other time. 13-3 to go in your.
I've also heard people say that Green Bay is this Green Bay team is the worst 13-3 team in the history of the NFL, which I think is funny.
They've really like
Because
kind of
out of their 3 losses, they lost to 2 of the other playoff teams. The
Yeah.
third one they lost to the Chargers, who sucked.
that one
but
was just a
they went
weird
to the
game.
AFC Championship game last year, and they had pretty much the same team. I don't know what the hell was wrong with them.
Yeah.
They weren't a bad team. They just sucked this year.
Yeah, I don't see.
They had
I mean,
the talent.
They have a really complete offense and an underrated defense. You know, the defense is probably what I think that's the reason the record's better. You know, those 2 Smiths you guys acquired. You actually
Preston
went out
and
and
Arias.
made some more moves than usual in free agency to get
Yeah.
that defense taken care of.
That's because Brian Gutekunst, or however you say his name, is doing a good job.
Yeah.
I think that's how you say his name. He spells it weird.
I think the Packers have a shot, especially with Rodgers. It's a different game when you get to the playoffs, and Rodgers has experience. He's gonna make it hard for Seattle, and a lot of the players. How many players do the Packers still have from back then? That 2014, where they kind of felt like they
Devontae
got
Adams
robbed.
definitely was. I don't know if anybody on the defense.
that's
I think
about
everybody
it.
I think everyone on the defense has been overhauled.
Yeah,
Bakhtiari,
yeah.
Corey
Rodgers.
Linsley.
Yeah,
Most of the offensive line is still the same.
yeah. A lot of them, but yeah, they're gonna be out for blood. I mean, they felt like they got kind of. Not robbed.
They
but
didn't get robbed. They fucking gave that
robbed
game away.
themselves. Yeah.
They were up 16-0 at halftime, or 16-3 or something like that.
I remember Russell Wilson's stats were terrible in the first half too.
Yeah, and on the first play of overtime, he throws like a 60-yard pass to
Yeah.
Luke Wilson and
I
fucking
remember that.
bury the hatchet.
Yep.
Bury the hatchet.
Yep.
We're not burying the hatchet. I take
No.
that back. That was the wrong thing to say.
Bury the hatchet, but remember where you buried it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're pulling that hatchet up, and we're going to fucking slam it into their back this week.
That's going to be a good game. I want to see that one. I'm sorry. Especially with Beast Mode back, I'm rooting for the Seahawks. I don't know if they're going to win it.
He's not the same guy.
He's not the same, but he's
a
role player.
We thought he was going to be fresh legs.
Well, I mean, he's not. He right now
fresh legs, but he's getting old. You can tell.
Oh yeah, he's a red zone guy. I mean, look at him. His only good yardages have come on his 2 touchdowns. Like you throw the guy in at the yard line, he's gonna score you a touchdown. But other than that, he ain't got much more. But look at him. I mean, he's not the starter. And they got Homer in there starting. I like that last name.
Homer Bailey.
Yeah, Homer. That's cool.
Not his name.
No, it's not his name. It's
Homer Bailey. Homer Bailey is a pitcher for the Oakland Athletics, or at least he was. I don't know if he is anymore.
Yeah. What about? I'm also starting to question Alvin Kamara as the number 1 guy. He was really good complimentary, but his stats this year haven't been great. Check this out. He had 21 yards on 7 carries last game. That's not very good. I know the Vikings' run defense is good, but they're not that great, are they?
No. They had Drew Brees throw the ball a lot though.
26 of 33, 208, 1-1.
I do remember in that game the Vikings were causing a lot of 3-and-outs.
Yeah.
Vikings defense was pretty good.
Yep. What was the last game we haven't talked about yet?
We talked about partially all 4 of them. We didn't really spend too much time on the Patriots. We kind of just glossed over them. Yeah. We don't need to talk about them at all. We should stop talking about them.
We're good. They're done.
If we want to talk about anything, we should talk about the Titans again.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about the Titans again.
We're good.
We can talk about them next week after they beat the Ravens.
We kind of mentioned the Eagles a little bit.
They beat the Ravens.
I mean, DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson.
I still think that team is the best team in the division. I think that they're going to probably win the division next year. I think McCarthy and the Cowboys are going 8-8 next year.
Yeah. I
truly don't think that the Cowboys will get back to glory until Jerry Jones decides that his ego is in the way and he's like, okay, I got to get out of here.
It's probably
I don't even think he doesn't realize it either.
No.
Or if he does, he's in his head. He's told himself, he's like, it's not my ego. He's like, I can do this.
Oh yeah, no. He definitely thinks. I mean, what he's probably thinking is he thinks the team did as good as they did because of him. He's like, well, look at this garbage Jason Garrett. He knew he was trash, but he's like, I'm carrying the team in his mind. This team's being carried by me. Yeah.
Idiot.
It's going to be tough. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I still kind of think that McCarthy's an upgrade over Jason Garrett at least.
You know what would be really smart of the Cowboys to do?
What?
Hire Wade Phillips as their defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Now that he was let go?
Yeah, he got let go by the Rams.
Yep.
I would really love it if Green Bay picked him up.
I wouldn't mind the Raiders picking up either.
Wade Phillips is a really good defensive coordinator. He just won the fucking He went to the Super Bowl last year against Patriots. He won one with Denver a couple years ago. When he was the head coach of the Broncos, or not the Broncos, sorry, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, and they really didn't have a lot of talent while he was there. He was only there for 2 or 3 years, too. That's not enough time.
Yeah, he's a better defensive
They
coordinator.
let Jason Garrett be the head coach there for 4 times longer than he was.
Yeah, he gave him a lot of time. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. 8-8, maybe they'll do a little better. I mean, they have the talent. Someone was telling me that they heard about McCarthy that he would miss meetings, and just kind of not be all in when he was in meetings. Did you ever hear anything about that?
Not really.
No.
The only thing that they ever used to talk about is Aaron Rodgers and him at the end of his tenure in Green Bay. They were kind of Rodgers was getting fed up with the play calling, and McCarthy would get mad at him when he would audible out of play calls at the line.
Yeah.
But Rodgers was like, no, he's like, I know how to read a defense. He's like, if I see that a play is going to be open, he's like, I'm going to audible.
Yeah.
And I'm going to trust that guy. If he calls an audible, there's a reason. He's not just doing it for his fucking health.
Exactly. Yeah, it didn't evolve. The only thing we can hope, if you're a Cowboys fan, I'd like to just see him keep burning. But the only thing the Cowboys fans can hope is that he spent this year revising his playbook. He had to be doing something, because if he comes in with the same playbook, especially the fact that he didn't know how to run the ball worth of anything with Green Bay. Look how Aaron Jones did this year.
I mean, to be fair, he only had a good running game for about 1 or 2 years with Eddie Lacy.
Yeah.
And then Eddie Lacy started to get fat.
But then he had Aaron Jones for a year or two, and this year Aaron Jones is thriving without him. Even Jamal Adams.
Aaron Jones really wasn't Aaron Jones, though, back when I don't even think he was there last year too much.
Oh, yeah.
If he was, we used to have a slew of running backs that we would
But everyone, I mean,
Ty Montgomery would play for a little bit because we didn't really have a guy.
yeah, he transitioned, but he was good. No, and analysts saw it for a while. Us fantasy football people, we were banging on the drum. Why are they not playing this guy more? Why are they not? And when McCarthy was gone, Aaron Jones was finally unleashed last year. His season was cut short because he broke his leg or he got hurt maybe week 15 or 16. But he had like a stretch of like 4 or 5 games where he was really good. So I don't know. I mean,
I like Aaron Jones. I think he's going to be really good next year.
Yeah,
he's going to be a really good running back too, or late first round.
Yeah, probably.
Fantasy football.
Yeah, he's got to be late first round. He's definitely top 5 numbers because of his ridiculous games.
And I think with Matt LaFleur as an offensive-minded coach, he's kind of like a step down from Sean Payton. He's going to find a way to get him the ball more.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Dude, I really wanted to. I could see him going up to the GM and being like, "Look, get me AJ Green." He's like, "I can do some things with this guy. Put him in my offensive scheme."
Now that you got a new GM, he might. I mean, we might see
pair him with Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones.
Be a good pairing because I mean, you got Devontae Adams, but you got a bunch of guys there after that. You don't
Lazard,
even
Kumaro,
not even a real
Valdez Scantling, Geronimo Allison.
They're all like solid, but
they're like number 3s and 4s.
If they were playing with anyone other than Aaron Rodgers, they would probably be garbage.
They wouldn't be on the team, probably.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron Rodgers makes everyone look good. A lot of people kind of talk crap about Rodgers, and he may not be as dynamic as he used to be, but he's still a damn good quarterback. I got to admit that.
I could think of 29. I could think of 27 other teams that would like to have him as their quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would take it.
Actually, there's 32. I think there's only 2 other teams that wouldn't want him.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Drew Brees. Anybody else could be replaced by him. Like, you know what I mean? Who's another quarterback where you'd
obviously
be like
Mahomes? I mean, you got Lamar Jackson. A lot of the young guys.
I forgot about Patty and Lamar.
A lot of the young guys, and just because of the age factor, I mean, I'd probably get if I were building a franchise right now. I mean, Rodgers I'd probably even get Deshaun Watson just because he's younger.
He's 35. Rodgers is.
He's getting up there in age, but there's that.
Lamar, Deshaun, and Patrick Mahomes. They were all in the same draft class, right? Or were they all a year apart?
No, Mahomes was the year that
with Mayfield.
No,
with
I
Baker.
think Watson. It went Watson, Mahomes the next year. And then Lamar,
was the year after.
Yeah, I think so. No, you might be right. Mahomes might have been in the same one as Watson. Because also
Baker
Trubisky was in that one.
Yeah, he was in the draft class with that was Deshaun Watson, Mahomes, and Trubisky.
Yeah, that's
right. When Chicago traded up because they thought San Francisco was going to take. And didn't they throw like everything at the wall, like including the kitchen sink?
Yeah, and it was funny, and you knew damn well that San Francisco was going to take. And they were probably sitting there
laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah,
dude, and look at their defense now.
Yeah, it's crazy,
dude.
That they really bamboozled, and they probably went in with because that was John Lynch's first year as a GM, right? They probably went in and just thought that they were going to screw him over. John Lynch is in there like, oh, we'll see about that.
And then they got Jimmy Garoppolo. What a come up that was.
Yeah,
turned out to look like a really good trade.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be.
Yeah, it is looking pretty good. So how about who's left? So I got 2 questions for you. One is about quarterback, and then we've got some coaching questions. If Tom Brady does leave, what team would he go to?
Somebody brought it up the other day. This is not my original thought.
Yeah,
the Colts.
Yeah, that's the one I heard too.
They have a really good offensive line.
Really good offensive line, pretty good defense. I mean, look, they almost made the playoffs with.
If they get into if a couple of teams start getting into some sort of bidding war, dependent on the fact that he does not want to go back to New England or they just don't want him back, which I can't see that happening. First of all, if the Colts really want him, they're probably going to be up against the Chargers, and there's no way Spanos is going to spend that much money to fucking get him.
No. But at the same time, Tom Brady's not looking for money. He's looking for where he's going to win.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He takes nothing with the Patriots for money. He's going to handpick where he chooses, so it's going to have to be a contender. He's not going to care. Just pay him, whatever you're going to do. $20 million a year he'll probably take, which is nothing. So the Colts can be a contender.
Why would you want to live in Los Angeles?
LA is terrible. Dump. Yeah. Traffic, I wouldn't. And the cost of living, too.
Dude, and you have no fan base.
Yeah.
They don't have any fans up there.
No, he would never go to Los Angeles. There's no way. What are some other teams I put? The one people haven't been talking about, it's a pretty long shot, What about the Buccaneers? They went 7-9 with Jameis Winston throwing 30 interceptions. They got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Bruce Arians. Do you think he'd entertain the idea of going there to replace Winston?
I mean, maybe. How many interceptions did Tom Brady throw this year? I know he didn't throw 30.
No, nowhere near 30. I think he probably maybe around like 12 or something. You should look that up.
Can you look up how many interceptions Tom Brady threw this year, please?
The third team that would be the option, the only one I can think of who needs a quarterback and is kind of playoff caliber team would be the Bears.
I was about to say Chicago.
Yeah,
I was waiting for you to say that, and I was like, I think it's Chicago.
If they did as well as they did with Trubisky.
Could you imagine if Brady and Rodgers are in the same division? They got to play each other twice.
Ooh, those would be some games right there, too.
Now you can really see who the GOAT is.
Yeah.
8.
8? Wow.
Interceptions.
Yeah, he didn't.
8 interceptions, and by their standards, they had a terrible year. They had a terrible year, and they went 12-4.
Yeah. That's what's a trip. Everyone's like, "Oh, they're not the same. They're not." Well, I mean, they still.
Dude, if you live in the Boston area and you're a Boston sports fan and you're under the age of 30, go fuck yourself. All you've ever known is winning.
Yeah.
I can't wait until Boston sports, baseball, hockey, football, are all bad, and they're just like, we hold ourselves to a higher standard. This is not how we play in sports. Everybody should be fired. Fire everybody.
I've already seen some people on Twitter saying to fire Belichick after
you
their
guys
loss.
were terrible back in the 90s before you started going to Super Bowls. Back in the 80s, you guys were atrocious.
Mm-hmm. But
simmer down. It happens at every franchise. Do you understand that this will probably never happen again for a sports franchise?
Yeah, that's 20 years.
In a span of 20 years, they went to They went to half of the Super Bowls.
Like I said, the Tuck rule happened. I was like 8 years old or 9. That was almost 20 years ago. That's crazy, especially in NFL too. I mean, it's easier with some teams to be good for a while, but the turnover in the NFL.
How many straight years have they had a bye in the playoffs?
This was their first time in like 11 years playing in the wild card. Yeah, 11. Like what?
I understand that's never going to happen again.
No,
ever.
Doubtful. Maybe in like 150 years.
I don't think I'll be alive to see it.
No. And it's even more amazing to see how much the game has changed during that time. And like Belichick just adapts, and you see him do different stuff every freaking year too. So it's a trip. Sometimes they rely on the run game. Sometimes they rely on the pass games. Whatever they have. He builds his team around what he has rather than trying to fit guys around him. And I don't understand why more people don't do that. They see the recipe is right in front of you and nobody wants to go with it. Especially too, like his aggressiveness in games, like, running up the score, keep going for it is why they're winning. And then you see other losing coaches like, oh man, there's 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We're down by 4. We're gonna go ahead and punt. What? Belichick, no. He's like, go for it.
We're gonna get the first down.
Yeah, we're gonna get the first down on this one. We're gonna pass the ball to no-name wide receiver.
Remember a couple years ago, I thought we could get a yard. We only needed 1 yard. I thought we could get it.
Yeah.
I forget when that was. I don't know if it was a playoff game or if it was a regular season game, but they lost the game because they went for it on 4th and 1, and he was like, I thought we could get a yard.
Yeah. Wasn't that against the Colts like years ago?
I don't know. They were asking me in the post-game press conference. And they were like,
Yeah.
why'd you go for it on 4th and 1? I thought we could get a yard. I trusted our offense. And made a mistake.
So what about
do you ever fucking smile, Bill? What's going on with you?
Yeah.
Like, are you just dead inside?
I'm telling you, he sold his soul to the devil to get.
I've seen that guy win 6 Super Bowls. I don't think I've ever seen him smile when he's holding the trophy. He's just like, yeah, you got another one.
Yep. Throw it next to the others. He probably just has a pile too. Like, not even a trophy case, just a freaking pile of trophies over there with rings and shit.
I'm going to go on Google after we're done here, and I'm going to look up a picture of Bill Belichick smiling. I don't know what his smile looks like. I don't think I've ever seen him smile.
I've seen it when he talks about football. Sometimes you'll get him on some shows, and when he talks about like former greats and stuff, you'll see him crack just a little one, just a little smile.
You ever seen him laugh?
I don't think I've ever seen him laugh. Hey, but
I don't think he knows how to.
Rich Ornberger.
What is this emotion I'm feeling?
I know. No, Rich Ornberger, he's on Extra 1360 San Diego. He used to play for the Patriots, and he said that one year Randy Moss threw a Halloween party, and nobody expected this. They invited Belichick just like, invite him. He's not going to come. He showed up dressed full on as a fucking pirate and was like doing the whole persona the entire time, like "Arr, matey," the entire freaking time. He said everyone was so surprised at that. So he's got it. He just don't show it. Apparently,
Fitting that he's dressed as a pirate, stealing people's playbooks and shit like that, recording them on the sidelines.
Oh, that's good. That's true. That's true. Who do you think the Browns are going to hire?
I thought they were going to hire Mike McCarthy.
That's what I thought
Apparently
too.
not.
No.
Who do I think the Browns are going to hire? Who would want that fucking
Yeah.
job? There's a bunch of big name coaches I could think. Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, they're going to have to get someone from college.
Nick Saban.
You think he'll
Urban
try to come
Meyer.
back?
I think Urban Meyer would be a good fit. He knows fucking Ohio already. He was the coach at Ohio State a couple years ago.
Right.
I mean, if they wanted to make a splash with the fan base, I think they should hire Urban Meyer. But I don't know if Urban Meyer wants that job.
Yeah, who wants it at this
They're
point?
so fucking dysfunctional in Cleveland. It's crazy. Baker Mayfield's talking shit about the training staff.
Yeah.
Fucking OBJ is saying he wants out already.
Yeah.
Freddie Kitchens had no control over that locker room.
That was just
Whatever.
a terrible hire from the beginning. They should have got McCarthy last year. It's like I've said. They had their chance. They missed it.
And they said that they're going to hire a coach before a new GM.
Yeah.
They're going to do it backwards.
Interesting. What? So the coach is going to hire the GM? What the hell is that?
No, the owner's going to, but he's going to hire a coach first.
Well, it's interesting, I guess.
That's not the way you should do it.
It's interesting, yeah. And that's why the Browns are going to stay bad. How about who else is left? You have the Giants. They're the only others who don't have their coach yet, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Who the heck would they? I don't know who they're going to get either. Another
I don't
college
know.
guy.
Didn't they interview Josh McDaniels? Or they tried to?
That's right. Some people
There's a couple
want the
people that are interviewing-
Ravens offensive coordinator. Ravens.
Defensive coordinator, right?
Offensive.
Greg Roman?
No, they want the Ravens offensive coordinator. Greg Roman, he might get some, but no. From what I heard is the O coordinator was getting more attention.
Oh.
Yeah, I know Robert Saleh is. They're trying to grab him somewhere. The 49ers defensive coordinator. He was supposed to be up for some.
You know who I've always
jobs,
really
too.
liked as a head coach? Like if I was a general manager and I wanted to go out and make a big splash hire for a head coach, if I was the GM,
Who?
I would be fucking throwing the kitchen sink at Mike Holmgren.
Yeah, Holmgren, man, he was.
Remember him for
he
the
was cool,
Seahawks?
but I think he's
was the
been
head
out
coach,
too long.
He was the head coach of the Packers too for a while, and then he went to Seattle back when Seattle was good in the earlier 2000s when they had Sean Alexander.
Yep. Well, he was the coach before they got McCarthy in Green Bay. I remember that because
He was like two before because they had Mike Sherman for a while. I think Mike Sherman was his predecessor.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot Mike Sherman.
Sherman even existed.
I forgot.
He's a very forgettable head coach.
Yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. I legit thought he just went from Mike Holmgren to Mike McCarthy for some reason.
We like our Mikes. Mike Holmgren,
Yeah.
Mike Sherman, Mike McCarthy.
That's right. Yeah,
Matt
all three.
LaFleur. They like the M
The
coaches.
M's, the M dogs.
I just thought about that right now. We did have three coaches in a row with M.
Yeah.
I forget who the interim head coach was last year after they fired McCarthy, but
Probably started with an M. Who knows? Well, I think that's about all the time we got for this episode.
Allen's was pretty good.
Been a good time.
When we talk next week, we're going to be talking about how Green Bay is advancing.
We'll see.
Hopefully.
We'll see who's going to advance, who's going to be dead, who's maybe we'll get some more head coach hirings and go from there.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, don't forget find us on Twitter at Ryan World Eater. Our producer there didn't say much this episode, but we still got him back there. DJ Danny Dimes.
Whoop, whoop.
Woo, woo. Find him at Daniel Dozen on Twitter. Find us at Last Word Cast. Any place you can find some podcasts, come find us. YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, wherever else. Cool.
That was a good one. Let's get out of here.
Deuces.